Why have you decided to run for presidency now?
Because you have failed leadership in this country and the president of this country does not care about the people. There's reckless borrowing, there's murder in the streets, and Kenya is not safe at all. And I've realized that if we do not reclaim back our country, it's going to get lost. So I'm running to clean up this country and to ensure that the president is held accountable for his crimes, for corruption, and that he goes to jail.
Mr. Mwangi, there've been violent clashes in recent years between police and protesters in Kenya. These have often grabbed international news headlines. Many of these protesters have been killed and others left with life-altering injuries. Could you give us a sense from where you're speaking from as to what is at the heart of the discontent that's fueling the unrest and tension in Kenya?
So it has not been clashes. It has been police killing innocent people for carrying a placard and a flag. It's been about Kenyans being killed for demanding accountability. It's about a president who's very intolerant, abducting kids and assassinating them and disappearing them. And the reason why he's doing that is that because there's a high level of unemployment in this country. And so when young people come together to protest about the unemployment, the corruption in the country, they get murdered. So it's a state that is waging violence against its young people. And that's where the problem lies, that our president does not listen and he responds with violence every time.
You're talking about the unemployment rate there. And despite being the biggest or having the biggest economy in East Africa, many Kenyans still live in poverty. You're now announcing your bid for the presidency. That is something that you would have to tackle. What is your plan then to change this?
Stop the theft, actually. One of the biggest problems we face as a country is that we pay first-class wages to our members of parliament, to our ministers, and we're a poor country. So we need to stop paying extravagant salaries, cut on expenditure, live within our own means, and then stop borrowing recklessly and stop the theft. It's actually our president, the former President Kenyatta, said that Kenya loses $200 million every day through corruption. So the money that repairs tax is stolen. We are the most highly taxed people in the world, and we still don't get services. We get highly taxed, and to get a service, you must pay a bribe. We're one of the most corrupt countries in the world.
A lot of the things you've addressed now pertain to governance. But you might very well know that President William Ruto is being encouraged to undertake reforms by international financial institutions, for example. Many of those reforms which are not particularly popular with the public, but are deemed necessary to keep the Kenyan economy afloat. Reforms that have to do with the country's high debt levels, for example. Is it fair to say that fixing Kenya's economic, particularly the structural economic problems, won't be a quick and easy fix, regardless of who is in power?
But basically, the money that has been borrowed for the last 13 years has been stolen. So every Kenyan in this country owes about $2,000. The moment a child is born into debt. Instead of having a bundle of joy, it's a bundle of debt. And that needs to come to a stop. We have a high appetite to borrow so that we can steal. What do we need to do? The money that has been stolen, the money that has been borrowed and stolen, can't be recovered. It's money that we know it is. The buildings that were built with that money can be auctioned and the money recovered. And there's also a possibility that the odious debt of this country belongs to individuals, and those people should pay the money. The current president was deputy president for 10 years as Uhuru Kenyatta's deputy president. That means he's part of the reason why we're in this mess. In the last 10 years, they borrowed over 8 trillion shillings, and that money has just disappeared into our white elephant projects or just utterly stolen. So we cannot, as a country, own a bad debt that we did not take. We must engage the lenders and say, the money you gave to us never came to us. The borrowers must pay that money. And I think we're going to refuse to pay some of the debts that this country owes if we can prove that it was stolen from us. And the people who stole that money should be held accountable criminally for stealing that money.
Right. You would be presumably taking on President William Ruto, who secured half of the country's, in fact, a little bit more than that, to be able to win the presidency, secured half of the votes in the general election in 2022. Do you believe you have a realistic chance of winning?
Yes, I do. So the majority of this country is young people, and we have about 10 million young people who are still unregistered to vote, and they're going to vote to register to vote. Number one. Number two, there are 8 million Kenyans who did not vote in the last election, and they had no reason to vote. Now they have a reason to vote. That's 18 million. Even if it's half of them, that's 4 million. And other kids, 6 million. That's 10 million. And then in the last election, he lost. The other competitor had 6 million votes. So you have about 20 plus million Kenyans who don't believe in his vision. And additionally, the people that voted for him and he has let them down will not vote for him again. So this country is mine to lose. This election is mine to lose because this man is going to go home. And we have been saying actually in 2027, if it's Ruto and the dog will win.